I'm Steve Basile. I live in Los Angeles, California. I worked at Downey Studios. Came up here to I guess it's the world headquarters, Tesla car. It just so happened that we came across the guy that's the head of communications that's dealing with this transfer. One of the sites that are looking at building a factory for something that's a really good thing is a really bad place. Many people have gotten sick, still getting sick.
Downey and Stuart Lichter still are denying that there's any health and safety problem. Why are they still continuing to deny this?
Money. Would you just willingly say, yeah, you know what, I've killed so many people because I bought this thing and I lied? He would go to jail. You know, it's like when you do something wrong when you're a kid and you keep doing something wrong because you don't want anybody to know. And the next thing you know, you've got this big, huge monster. Well, he's got a monster and doesn't know what to do with it. You know, and he knew exactly what was, you know, happening. This isn't his first, you know, canoe ride. It'll come around. It'll come around to him. When it comes around, it'll come hard. I'm glad I'm wearing my shoes and not his. And I could be dying from cancer. And I'm still glad I'm in my shoes and not his. That's it. Just clean it up. We're getting sick. I mean, it was like when we were doing the shoot, you could tell. I mean, after like, you know, there a couple weeks, it was like as people came in, it was like, okay, he's going to start getting stiff in the nose in 2 days. You know, and everybody, it was like a time thing. Everybody started getting the same kind of sick. You know, like some you get a runny nose and stuff. You know, after a couple 3 days, and after about a week or so, you're starting to cough. You know, and after about 3-4 weeks, you're starting to itch and you sweat and you're starting to burn. Like even the bathroom that they had us using. Picture the stage is like the size of 2 football fields, and you go like all the way to the end, and there's a wall, and if you look to the left, it's pitch black, but there's like a tunnel, you know, it's like a big giant hallway, and there's these little loop, you know, lights that are kind of flickering and every other one's out type thing, you know, and it's like going back in, like if you get into a subway in New York City, like back in the 20s, you know, underground, that's never been, just been sitting there forever. I mean, mold climbing up the walls and stuff in the bathroom. They had these little light things, you know, and I mean, you could see the you know, it was like, it glowed. I mean, it was like insane. All right, we were there 11 and a half hours, 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. And that was the only job going. And that was the only show going at the time. And everybody and their brothers was on that show. We had 283 prop makers at one time. We were running 24-hour shifts. There are a couple actors that have been becoming sick within the last 6 months or so, and they've been to, I met one of them. That just proves that, you know, they haven't done anything. They said they did something and they haven't, because he has the same symptoms that we had 5 years ago. You know, the runny nose, the diarrhea. I could be sitting there talking and just shit my pants. I did it on Raven. When we were shooting Raven, I was standing next to Danny and I just went, oh my God. You're not going to believe this. And I just looked at him, I said, you got an extra pair of pants? He goes, don't tell me shit. And I did. And Raven's walking in and we're getting ready to shoot. And I'm like, oh my God. You know, and it's embarrassing, you know, and I can be sitting there talking and also my nose started bleeding. People will tell me, I go, dude, your nose is bleeding. I'm like, damn. You know, and my hands would fall apart. They were like snake skin. The protein level is that high, but they can't find any tumors. There's no leukemia, there's no tumors. The levels are high enough to where the first thought was leukemia or lung cancer or testicle cancer. And it came out, I mean, and I went through how many tests? Jesus Christ. I was begging him, I can't take another one, please. Can I just do this tomorrow? I have Hep C that just totally blown out because of my immune system, which Downey, that was one of the things that's in the paperwork, is if you have a low immune system, you shouldn't be there. Okay. Well, I was never told.
You were already compromised immune system.
Yeah, I already have a low immune system, which I've been to doctors. I was managing it with my diet. Everything was good. I got there and it just everything just got worse. Like it excelled everything that was wrong with me. Within 1 year, I had a stent, three angios. I had a valve replacement. They wanted to do back surgery. All this like within a year. And this stuff, and I mean, like my heart doc, all my doctors are just going like, dude, it's like you're the Browning, it's like what else is going to go wrong, And I really believe that because of that place, it just enhanced, or it was like a catalyst, that did something with my enzymes and did something with my metabolism. Like when they were doing skipping Christmas, we'd go to just hang out to try to get a job, and it's pouring down rain. The dirt glowed green, like fluorescent, and they told laborers to come and put that 3.5 mil, plastic over the top of it, and it melted the plastic. And the laborer that put the plastic down, Reuben, a very good friend of mine, he ended up getting a tumor behind his eye, and it popped his eye out. That's how he knew that he had the tumor. And it came out to about like right here. You stand in the mirror, and he's like, oh my God. And it was from that.
When the SAG had their contract, that lasted over a year. And what they did is they went in and they offered these guys minimal amounts of money, $1,500 to $4,000 or something, to sign off of the case. And these guys are still sick. And some of them are Steve's friends. And they just needed the money really bad because they weren't working.
That's why the union got bought off. Most of that money went to pay motion picture back, because it should have been a workman's comp. And motion picture was taking care of us because nobody really knew, and then all of a sudden out of the woodwork it came out that it's the Downey syndrome, and motion picture's going like, oh, well, we don't want nothing to do with that. So now you got to pay us back or we're suing you, and blah, blah, blah. So the union took the deal, paid off the motion picture, and now nobody can get any help. We can't get no doctor. Well, when you walk in that place, there's no flies, there's no ants, there's no cockroaches. When we were hanging the hoists for because if you watch the movie The Island, they go in where there's the lottery. That's where we built. That's where all this stuff was built, because we had to dig a big trench for Lemony Snicket for that lake. So we had to take all that out, and they disrupted all that ground underneath that was supposed to be clean, and it's not clean. Okay, so. Anyway, we go up and hang the two of the elevators worked, right? So me and Scotty were the ones that hung the hoist that worked them. And that's where we got all this black stuff. And we're up in there, and I'm looking around, and you see soot all the time because you work in warehouses, you work in weird places. So we're thinking soot, but there's no dirt. There's no spider webs. There's no, like lint, it's just this black stuff. We're just covered with it. And we just, go like that, and, get it out of our hair, whatever, But Scotty always wore gloves, and I can't because my hands are so thick and stuff, I gotta feel it. And he doesn't have a problem with his hands. And the only problem I have is from here down. They want to put a museum there, children's park. It's just not a good thing, I love my union. I just don't like the old administration. The ones that were bought off, and yeah. The union will be behind us. It's the right people. It just has to be the right time. That's right. You're not going to even get close to the American dream. Now they set us up to help us pay some of our bills. They paid my dues for the year. Then I'm going to be out. The house, with the utility bills and stuff like that. There's a grande picture here, and we're just a little micro piece of that, sand in the ocean type thing. It's just we got to get to the people. Somehow we got to let the people know what the hell is going on. Because once you get the people, it's been proven history. You go back, 5,000 friggin' years. Once you get the people motivated to do something, you ain't stopping them. They're going to get something changed. We the people. People forget about that shit.